A product launches, ads run, and the sales report stays flat despite months of preparation. Inside the team, everyone wonders why effort produced noise, yet almost no one actually noticed. This occurs when the same marketing checklist gets repeated while the offering itself remains ordinary. In crowded categories, people ignore average options because choices are endless and attention is scarce. The cost is wasted budget, demoralised teams, and a market that treats your message as background clutter. Even when awareness spikes, it can fade without changing behaviour or creating any lasting conversation. Imagine a meeting where slides demand more impressions, while customers keep choosing familiar brands without thinking. That gap persists because the plan adds promotion after the fact instead of designing talk-worthy value up front. In the next sections, you will learn how to build remarkability into products and spread it through the right people. This video is inspired by Seth Godin's Purple Cow. Subscribe for tools to build remarkable products. Remarkability means that an offering is worth discussing because it feels exceptional, new, or unusually useful. The strategy is to build what people notice into the product, rather than relying on a late campaign to explain it. When something is worth noticing, it earns attention for free as people naturally point it out and share it. If it is ordinary, it becomes invisible, even if the quality is high and the execution is competent. On a road trip through France, hundreds of beautiful cows initially feel fascinating, but quickly fade into the scenery. One cow with unusual colouring would reset attention, as contrast makes the familiar feel new again. This illustrates that novelty wears off, so the goal is to design standout features that stand out beyond first impressions. It also shows why average improvements rarely win, as they blend into a sea of similar options. Choose one attribute that can be described in a single sentence and make it so clear that people repeat it. Then remove anything that dilutes that edge, as the most memorable offerings have a sharp, distinct point. Attention is scarce because people face too many choices and rarely take the time to study new offers. A post-consumption consumer already has what they need and lacks time to research another ordinary alternative. The old TV-driven system grew by building factories, buying ads, and using profits to buy even more ads. That loop weakens when media interruptions decrease, making awareness expensive while results remain uncertain. Walk into a drugstore aisle, and you see over 100 pain reliever choices fighting for the same moment. Even a slightly better option struggles because most buyers trust what they grew up with and stop searching. The new rule is to create remarkable products that the right people will seek out, rather than polishing safe products. This requires moving marketing investment into the product itself, as additional messaging no longer carries weight. Start by clearly naming the problem your product solves, then remove features that do not help people feel that solution. Then, focus less on chasing everyone and more on making your product impossible to ignore. An idea virus is an idea that spreads from person to person because it is easy to share and demonstrate. Sneezers, the credible individuals who tell others about it, have a greater influence than the sheer volume of information. Innovators and early adopters try new things first, and their approval makes the larger majority feel safe to follow. If you skip these groups and chase the centre, most people will ignore you because they are busy and already satisfied. Digital cameras grew in popularity because early adopters showed friends the clear convenience and obvious price advantages. This kind of advantage spreads faster because it can be explained in seconds and proven with a single demonstration. The smart move is to target a niche where people are actively looking and ready to discuss with their peers. Ads work best when they appear at the moment someone is seeking help, not when they are interrupted randomly. Design your offer to help sneezers talk about it, using simple language, proof, and an easy share path. If this helps you build ideas that spread on purpose, subscribe for more practical ways to reach the right people. Being safe may appear comforting, yet it often creates the riskiest outcomes because boring work becomes invisible. The mechanism is fear of criticism, which pushes teams to smooth edges until nothing triggers attention or debate. In crowded marketplaces, fitting in becomes failure, as the average option cannot earn talk or loyalty. A seemingly safe choice can also trap careers and companies, since copying leaders rarely creates a new advantage. Air and office chairs were once ignored purchases, chosen by administrators who wanted the safest option available. When a radical chair looked different and cost more, People talked about it, and the category changed quickly. This illustrates that risk is not chaos. It is choosing a clear position that some people will reject. It also shows that remarkability can be designed, then supported by the courage to accept mixed reactions. Identify where your team keeps rounding off edges, then decide which edge should be sharpened instead of softened. Take one calculated step towards standing out this month, and measure whether people start mentioning you without prompting. Compromise diminishes remarkability by smoothing out the unique features that make an offering noteworthy. The process involves committee buy-in, where each objection erodes specificity until the result satisfies no one deeply. In most markets, the unremarkable slot is already occupied, so a bland product has little room to grow. Growth comes from being too something for some people, while being exactly right for a smaller, more passionate group. Vanilla ice cream is safe for a birthday party, but it is forgettable because few people discuss it later. A spicy nut flavour divides tastes, yet that division creates a clear story that appeals to the right customers. Execution requires resolve, as it is safer to be bold than to hide behind cautious sameness. Projection also matters, as teams must imagine how fans feel, then test and refine with deliberate launches. Choose a maverick to protect the sharp idea, and stop internal reviews that try to average it out. Then prototype, measure who talks, and repeat until the product itself carries the marketing load. The core shift is transforming from interrupting people with messages to capturing their attention through the value of your offering itself. Remarkability has become the strategy, as ordinary marketing tactics lose their effectiveness when consumers no longer listen. You witnessed how attention scarcity, an overload of choices, and satisfied buyers make average products effectively invisible. You also observed how early adopters, sneezers, and shareable ideas move innovations from niche to mainstream. Choosing a visible difference invites criticism, but safe choices often fail more quietly by leaving you unnoticed. Avoiding compromise keeps your story clear, and clear stories travel faster than polished slogans ever could. Start by defining one audience with a real problem, then design a solution that feels unexpectedly specific. Next, build simple language that fans can repeat, and make sharing effortless through demos, samples, or referrals. When people describe your product unprompted, you know the market is doing the spreading for you. If you want to continue building products that people choose and talk about, subscribe for more practical design guidance.